First pose we're going to get into today is bird. Whether you continue on this acro journey or not, this is one of the most basic poses and a huge pose when we get into transitions, which is later on down the road. So the first pose, bird. Start with my base.
So Ashley's going to help me down. Come down on my back. We already talked a little bit about basing in these concepts. So I really want to make sure that I'm grounded, my hips are flat. Now I'm going to point my toes at Ashley, right, so that my feet are up, and she's going to place my feet where it feels good to her. My knees are bent, my knees are above my hips, right? So this is the starting position.
Also, my base's toes are pointing upward. If you notice, his heels are not in, toes out, right? They're just straight up and down, toes aren't in, just flush with my legs. I like the arches of his feet on my hip bones. This will be different depending on your body ratios. So I'm going to start looking up. I want to lead with my chest as if I have a little string pulling my heart up, right? Think Titanic, right? Heart up. Whether I hold hands, whether my hands are on his feet or my hands are back, always going to lead with my heart and gaze up.
So we're going to start. The first one is actually showing the hand-to-hand contact way to get into bird. So she's going to extend her hands forward. What she's not going to do is reach for me. I'm going to keep my hands up like this. My hands are going to turn outward like so, making two little cups for her to lean into. Now all she's going to do is weight into my feet like she's leaning towards a wall, and I'm going to accept her, right? We could just work this right here. We come down, touch hands, she still looks up, come back, right?
So if you notice, you're going to want, as a flyer, to look at your base. When you look at your base, you're automatically going to put the weight down. And as you look at your base and reach, you're going to want to bend over, right? So make sure that we're not looking at our base, but we're looking straight up, leading with the chest. Lean in.
So come here. If you notice, my knees almost come all the way down to my elbow like I'm going to do crow pose. But now that my feet are above my hips, press her back up. She's kept this nice, really stable body, just like when we're finding this position of the Eiffel Tower leaning into each other. This time I'm actually going to pick her up. So she's still looking up, lean forward, our hands are going to connect. My feet are above my hips. Now all I have to do is press straight up, not back, not forward, up. And now we're in position. Now we have this hand connection, and this is the most stable part of bird, right, is keeping the connection through the hands. My fingers are facing outward, hers are forward, and we're not gripping super tight, right? Because if she wants to let go or anything, I want to be able to let go or catch or move, and when we move through different stuff, if she has this death grip, it's not going to be too comfortable.
The first thing I want to do as a flyer is activate my legs. So there's so much focus on our core, meaning our front body, our side body, and our back body, but don't forget about the legs, right? If your legs are heavy, you're going to start to hinge at the waist and kind of find this ragdoll. So you really want to tighten everything up, point through the toes if we can remember to do that, engage the quads, even engage your glutes a little bit. Lift from the back body, heart up. Okay?
Right. And now, if we want to come into this into bird where we're not holding hands, she's going to ask for a little bit more toes. Now, me pointing my toes helps her get her chest up. If I point too much, though, she's going to come down onto her feet. If I don't point enough, she's going to dive forward. So I'm going to give her a little bit of toes, and we're just going to get light. Lighter, lighter. I'll keep my hands here, and when she's ready, she'll remove her fingers and reach her arms back.
If you're fearful as a flyer, that's totally fine. Know that you have your base's hands waiting for you when you need. You also have his ankles.
So now I'm going to keep my hands right here. All right, so this is the beginning step. My hands are always up here to spot. When you practice this a lot and you get really comfortable with your flyer, then maybe you could take your hands away because you know and you could read, right? But this is the beginning. I don't feel too comfortable, and I don't know what she's going to do, so I'm going to keep my hands here just for a safety net. All right? When we want to come out of it, the first way to come out of it is I'm going to ask for her hands. She'll bring me back her hands. I'm going to bend my knees into my chest, set her feet down, and then assist her up with my feet, right? So that she can come up. She'll give me a little bit of base love.
So what I'm going to do is kind of lengthen his spine, leaning back, pulling on his ankles. Maybe bend the knees in. This can get as elaborate as you want, or not so much.
That was weird base love, but I like any love I get from her.